did NASA's Perseverance Mars rover just find evidence of alien life in the rocks? Explore these topics and more on Surveying the Cosmos. NASA announced that signs of life have been discovered on Mars. This is a hopeful sign with two duds behind us. In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 and 2 Martian landers conducted several experiments in the red soil, finding hints of the presence of life. However, scientists later determined that no biological material was present in those samples. In 1996, a NASA team said they found what looks like ancient microbial life and a 4-billion-year-old meteorite that came from Mars. However, after years of debate, the scientific community rejected the hypothesis that the unusual features were signs of life. NASA launched the Perseverance Mars rover in July of 2020 to the Jezero crater in order to seek signs of ancient life, collect rock samples, and potentially return them to Earth for further study. NASA just recently announced that the Perseverance rover found an unusual arrow-shaped rock last year in a dried-up riverbed that long ago filled the Jezero crater with fluid. The rover discovered leopard spots on a reddish rock where scientists think that these spots are biosignatures, features that serve as evidence of past or present life. These fossils could have been made from a biological process or mineral patterns that only come from microbial life. When we say life, we're not talking about complex humanoids or animals or green little men, but simple life forms that includes bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa, and viruses. The next step is to return the sample to Earth for further study. However, the current administration has scrapped the return to Earth plans, and NASA is looking for a cheap way to return the sample back or send astronauts to Mars itself. In this episode, Did You Know series, the universe is full of cold stars. Cold stars are stars with a temperature of less than 2,000 Kelvin, or around 3,140 degrees Fahrenheit. For a comparison, our sun has a temperature of around 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. In this classification of stars, you have main sequence stars, giant stars, and brown dwarfs. Brown dwarfs don't have enough mass to support the hydrogen fusion process in a regular star, but still produce faint visible light from the fusion of deuterium at a much lower temperature. The coldest brown dwarf found is named WISE 0855-0714. It has a temperature of 53 degrees Fahrenheit. And even with the cold, mild surface conditions, exposure to deuterium radiation on a cold brown dwarf would be hazardous to human health.